Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have yet another example of what's happening with X-Men 97. And I've spoken about this show many times, and I'll get plenty of people in my comments. I'm looking at you, X-Men Forever, who will always talk about how I'm wrong, how the show was always meant to be woke, blah, 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 whatever the hell they want to say that's been disproven by Stan Lee time and time again. Well, we have another example. We have X-Men 97 lead character designer and director confirm that redesigning the characters was for body diversity. Now imagine looking for body diversity and representation in your X-Men. I mean, seriously, I really don't know what more these people want to do to destroy the entertainment that we loved so dearly as children, but apparently X-Men 97 lead character designer and director has confirmed that Disney Marvel is redesigning the characters for body diversity and to stay relevant, apparently, because in order to stay relevant, you have to destroy everything that people loved before. It's weird. To stay relevant, you have to alienate your fans, the majority of your fan base. Make that make sense. So let's get into this article, guys, from Fandom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. Now, the funny thing is, all this body diversity, right? All this trying to stay relevant, changing character designs, all that stuff, right? It's interesting how it's only usually the women who are getting those changes. The men, as you can see here from the picture, Cyclops, Wolverine, Gambit, right? Like Beast, like none of these characters seem to be changed very drastically at all, like if at all. Like these characters are pretty accurate for the most part. It just looks a little weird, obviously, because of the cartoon style. But Rogue has been completely neutered. Storm has been changed into a linebacker from the NFL. All these female characters have been changed so much for body diversity. I don't know why. Why is that? It makes you wonder, right? Why did you change it for body diversity, and why did you change only the women? Could it be that ugly women are basically writing and designing these characters now, so they want to see themselves in it? Or could it be that you're trying to adhere to the women pretenders? You know, the men who like to dress up as women? Is that why you made Storm look like a linebacker with shoulders wider than even I have? Like, make that make sense. It says X-Men 97 has been embroiled in controversy ever since the trailer launched, and predictably, clues to an extremist woke rewriting of the X-Men franchise are beginning to emerge from the Marvel animation property. The lead character designer, Amelia Vidal, of course it's a woman, has confirmed character redesigns are being done with diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda in mind. The problems for X-Men 97 began when an X-Men 97 producer unveiled that Morph, a shapeshifter in the original show, would be changed to non-binary to push the trans agenda further. This isn't unusual for Marvel, who's been doing the same with Mystique for years in the comics, going so far as to change Mystique to be the father of Nightcrawler instead of the mother. This change to X-Men 97 with Morph was pushed further as it revealed the voice actor for the Marvel Disney show is a homosexual activist in the industry. Now, we covered all of this in many different videos, so if you guys missed it, please go check it out on the channel. They are still live, they are still up. But yes, they did all of these changes to push the trans ideology, which again makes me curious. Why are they only doing it with the women characters? Why are they only doing it with the females, right? They're doing it with the females because of many different reasons, but the two primary reasons is that ugly feminists have taken control over modern day entertainment. That's number one. And number two, those same ugly feminists are writing and designing their characters for female pretenders, male pretenders, whatever you want to call them, males that are pretending to be females. They're also advocating for them, their own erasure, and by doing so, they're making their feminine characters not feminine anymore. It says next, X-Men 97 fans complain about design changes to Rogue. In Marvel, Rogue was a heartthrob character, but now she's been decurved to appear more androgynous, with YouTube commentators noting that the character now has a uniboob. In addition, it was noted that Storm had been changed in the cartoon to have more masculine features like a square jaw and different proportions, in addition to her wearing a suit and having a shaved head with a short mohawk to make her look androgynous. Now, again, in the last video, I spoke about these changes, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that the hair is comic book accurate. That is not what I was complaining about in my last video. I was complaining about the fact that this woman is built like a linebacker. She has shoulders that are unbelievably wide. It makes you wonder, is this even a female at this point in the first place? And look at this jawline. It's very clear that this is meant to be masculine features. Don't give me that bullshit about comic accuracy haircut. Storm was never a linebacker in the comic books. Never. They made her this way because of diversity, or in this case, body diversity. Now we've discovered these changes are intentional in the latest interview with Amelia Vidal, the lead character designer on the Marvel animation show. First exposed by that Park Place, X-Men 97 appears to be pushing more of the woke agenda Disney had imposed upon its several franchises over the last several years. In an interview with Tom McLean from Animation Magazine, wrote lead character designer Amelia Vidal says she took advantage of the revival to bring in a full variety of body diversity. For example, Amelia Vidal said, if we take Jean, Rogue, Storm, and Jubilee, they all have different body proportions, heights, age, physical builds, and posture attitudes. Whatever the fuck a posture attitude is, okay. This statement confirms that the suspicion that the female characters have indeed been changed intentionally with an agenda in mind, this time for body positivity, part of the woke movement to pretend like a healthy physique is somehow not a good thing. The Marvel designer noted that X-Men are so different from each other, celebrating those differences makes each character unique and special in a nod to diversity. So again, ladies and gentlemen, X-Men has been co-opted by people that are trying to push this message. This is what they're doing. And it's not just X-Men, okay? It's Marvel and Disney as a whole. Everything that Marvel and Disney puts out is meant to be all about DEI. And don't ever get it twisted, okay? There's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, but Deadpool, what about Deadpool? No, Deadpool is just one in a million when it comes to Disney and Marvel. And they use Deadpool as a means to just give that little bit of fan service to the people who are actually still around that are fans of the comics and the source material. They give Deadpool as that little bit, but everything else you know, everything else you love, everything else you can watch and see when it comes to actual Disney Marvel is all going to be woke trash. It says, but she didn't stop there in the interview. Like all leftist activists involved in Disney Marvel projects like X-Men 97, she continued to say she was trying to achieve body diversity. The show's director, Jay Castorina, then said the reasoning for this is to stay relevant. This sounds a whole lot like the recent woke code to redesign characters for modern audiences, which clues us into a lot of activist agenda in television and movies. Again, ladies and gentlemen, do you think that by them nuking the female characters and changing femininity into masculinity, you think that's going to allow you to stay relevant? No, that's going to allow you to stay in the headlines, but that's not going to give you actual viewership. That's not going to make the show actually successful. We've seen that time and time again. That almost never happens. It's 9 times out of 10 or 9.5 times out of 10. You get woke, you will go broke. That's just the facts. We've seen that time and time again. So don't come out here and try to pretend like you're doing this for relevancy. No, ladies and gentlemen, you're doing this to check off just another box of more ESG, more fake diversity, equity, and inclusion so you can get more funding as a company, because God knows you ain't getting the money from actually selling the product to the fans. It says, when speaking on changes to the show so it's no longer faithful to X-Men 97 and its original way of being, he added, to do the show verbatim as it was, it would be difficult to stay relevant. Bullshit. Bullshit. Are you kidding me right now? See, this is the problem. This is the problem. They try to say that, oh, the original way of doing things would not be successful, would not be relevant. We've seen so many different IPs prove them wrong. I don't even want to get into the list because it's going to be ridiculous, but a simple Google search, ladies and gentlemen, will show you that this comment right here is absolutely nonsense. And they know it's nonsense. They know they're lying. They know they're full of shit. Yes, if they would have did the original cartoon and continued it, they would have been more successful than this woke garbage that's about to come out very soon that everybody is not excited to see. And time will tell whether or not we're right or they're right. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, that this show, after all the backlash it is experiencing right now, is going to bomb massively. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.
I mean, whatever you're doing, it's working. It is working.
Go on.